Ski Mask Boys at you live, being recorded though.
Player.
We're talking about the AeroMobil flying fucking vehicle, the vehicular car that can fly. This thing is pretty awesome. Uh, there's a lot to say about this, and probably not a lot to say because it's just straight up awesome. One thing that surprised me, and we found this one on Product Hunt, is that it only had like 20 likes on Product Hunt. I don't really understand, or had like 35, but it was like one of the lowest. Let me go. Tell us what you think, Pinky. I'm gonna have to just come up. Go ahead.
I'll I'll just come in on that point on Product Hunt. I think that nobody's upvoting this thing because this is such a 1960s idea that finally realized itself, and you know, other than the occasional yuppie, I don't know who's really going to be interested in this thing. I mean, we've got quadcopters and shit. Why not just make a quadcopter that can carry a human around?
Then look at the future self, which is like some janky ass thing where you can like get a picture of yourself looking all old. Got 65 upvotes, and this AeroMobil 3.0, which is like this gorgeous, and you're gonna see in a minute. This gorgeous flying car got 35 upvotes. There's just something wrong with that.
I mean, this isn't part of the tech douchebag crowd, really. I mean, this would have made Marty McFly really psyched, you know. But to the modern tech nerd, like, they don't even need something like this.
I don't know. Look at this thing. This thing it's quite incredible. And actually, what I was reading, and this is really interesting, the two guys who made this, they actually bootstrapped this thing. I guess they're like entrepreneurs, and they actually self-funded this thing.
Wow. Well, I mean, what does that really mean, though? That they were really rich and they bootstrapped it with their millions that they made off of selling like a banking company, or
I don't know. It's just interesting to me that two guys basically went and self-funded this thing and have been working at it. They've been working at it for like 15 or 20 years, though.
yeah, that's too long, man. That's what I'm saying. Is that this is a '60s idea. These guys must be really old, you know, because it's really cool. I mean, honestly, it's a really awesome engineering feat, and I think that what they've done is really sweet. But I I mean, it kind of came a little bit late. Like everybody forgot about the flying car decades ago, you know. So,
Not in Europe. They didn't, man. These guys are Slovakian, I think, and so like in Slovakia, they still. I don't even know if they have roads in Slovakia. I think that they still use horse and wagon. So these guys are the future of Slovakia.
well, you can tell that they took off from that grass flight strip there. I think that this is for, you know, like when Bjorn he just got a fresh batch of yak milk and he wants to fly it. He wants to fly it over into the next city where he can leave it on his friend's doorstep and they can just sit there and drink yak milk and watch the sun go down or something. Like, dude, these guys look like porn stars to me, man. They
This guy doesn't. This guy doesn't. This guy looks like mafia. Like this guy will fucking break your
no,
leg.
we better not say anything bad about this guy, but the other guys, they look like they're in those like Shiza porns, dude.
This guy's like a fluffer, I guess.
That guy was serious, dude. Nobody should fuck with that guy right there. Go back to him. What's his name?
Look at the old drawings from 90 to 94, and then 95 to 2010,
Uh-huh.
2010 2013, and then the newest one. And these guys have been in all sorts of media, but I bet this media is all older, maybe. Maybe not. It doesn't matter. Anyway.
Here's what I have a problem with from an engineering point of view, and keep in mind I'm not an engineer, but if if, if why they're really coupling two different technologies together that, in my opinion, don't really belong together. I mean, this car must have an engine, right? And then it has this motor on the back. I'm just curious how energy efficient that would be.
Here they have some specs here. I don't really understand what the fuel consumption here is. Honestly, it says 81 out of 100 kilometers. I don't really know what that means.
Yeah, I don't understand any of this shit either, but
It says the range on the car is 540 miles. The range on the plane is 430 miles. That's pretty good, depending on how big the engine.
How does that
I mean,
compare to a just a simple, you know, plane though that doesn't have any of these car features? I'm just really curious.
well, yeah, I know, but look, that thing's small enough. The gas tank can't be the fuel tank can't be that large on it, right? So you
Yeah.
have to assume that it's getting some sort of relative. I mean, if you're gonna so okay, so also these things are supposedly gonna price tag around 280 grand. So if you're shelling out 280 grand, I mean, you're basically buying a pretty badass toy, right? I
Yeah.
think that, I think the thing where this would come in handy is like if you live in fucking like if you live in Montana and you're like, hey, I'm gonna go to the town over here, but I'm just gonna fly instead of driving, and it'll take me 10 minutes instead of an hour.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to, in order to fly, somebody's gonna die in one of these things.
Of course they are. Somebody's gonna die in a car too.
They are, but the press is gonna be so much worse because these things are so rare, and they're gonna have this company's gonna have to be really careful with who they sell them to and how much training these people have.
They have to be licensed pilots. You have to be a licensed pilot to fly it.
And some yuppie's gonna put too much whiskey in his yak milk, and then he's gonna fly the fucking thing into the ground. You know? Like they need to be really careful.
They don't even have yaks in Slovakia, and they do have
Where
they
they
do
do.
they
They
actually
probably they
paved,
probably do, man.
they do have paved roads. Uh, and Slovakia has some horrid liquor. So I think you're right. Somebody is, and those people like to drink. So I think that you're right. Somebody is going to die in one of these. It's going to be a big deal. I mean, I know, like, I think Larry Page said about the Google's autonomous cars that you know they've driven like millions of miles in those things already, or those things have driven millions of miles already. And then he just said like one accident, we're screwed basically. Everybody's going to be all over us, even though we've driven millions of miles with no accidents. It's like the first accident they're fucked. It was the same thing with Uber, right? Like an Uber driver got in an accident, and it was such a big deal, even though they finally.
Probability is high. I mean, and I even heard this story about an Uber driver who drove some chick off in the middle of nowhere and then like locked her in some room somewhere. And I don't know if it's just propaganda, but I mean, this is bound to happen, but I don't think it will. I mean, bad shit happens to Google all the time. Like Gmail when it came out, everybody flipped their wig, dude. Nobody wanted that shit to even exist. And
I
then
did it.
now.
Email changed my life.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess we're just waiting for someone to die in one of these planes.
Are you going to call them a hero?
I probably will, dude. The yuppie who gets all drunk on his yak milk and dies is gonna be a hero, dude. Bjorn. Bjorn, the yak milk drinking astronaut, or the aviator, dude, the hero.
All right. Do you have anything else to add to this? Because now we're just going off for no reason.
Well, I just want to say that this is a yuppie's tool, and I don't really see it going anywhere. I mean, that's it.
It's never going to be like, well, I mean, I shouldn't say never. It's not going to be commonplace. I don't know. I think autonomous vehicles, but there's got to be a better answer to like, I live basically like probably 40 miles from S.r.o. But if I drive there, it takes me 2 hours. If I took like a helicopter or a plane, it would take me like 10 minutes probably. There's got to be a better mode of transportation for people who can afford it, like more direct, right?
Yeah, I think
I'm not
so.
saying, I'm not saying this is it, but I'm saying it's a step in the right direction.
I mean, the founders of Google will probably have one of these, and like maybe Leonardo DiCaprio. But other than that, I just, I mean, who the fuck is gonna buy this thing? You know? I mean, everybody like people are trying to figure out how they're gonna pay their rent, man. You know?
All right, that's enough.
All right,
You're
bye.
funny. Peace out.